So Ekko is always one of those champions that is pretty tough to play against, mainly due to his ability to jump into an entire team, assassinate somebody, and get away without a trace. He has really good damage, utility, and escape tools that make him really difficult to punish. Despite that though, Ekko can be very vulnerable without his ultimate. He is a melee champion and he has to dive in like an assassin does, and he also struggles against hard crowd control. One of the best mythic items for Ekko is going to be Hextech Rocket Bell. It gives him more mobility, adds more burst, and also provides an auto attack reset, which complements his passive perfectly. Damage wise after that, you've got things like Lichbane, which is going to add even more burst to Ekko's auto attack dives in, and it works really well with his passive. Nash's Tooth is also really good. It gives you a ton of AP and attack speed and non-hit damage, which can work really well with your passive, especially if you want to demolish towers. Zhonya's Hourglass is also really common on Ekko, so that you can dive into a fight, not die instantly, wait for your cooldowns or your ultimate trail to catch back up. You might finish off your build with something like a Rabadon's Death Cap that is a huge boost to your AP and overall damage, but even a Void Staff is going to add some penetration to take down people who are stacking magic resist. If you want to opt for even more defense, you could go for something like Banshee's Veil versus AP mages, but then you've got Morellonomicon, which is really good versus healing, and also Medjai's is just insane if you're able to get a few early kills and snowball. Against easy matchups, you are trying to power farm. You just really want to get to your mid-game power spike without any worry, and that's where Ekko really comes online. So alongside that, you can look to set up ganks and get to that point just a bit quicker and gank when possible. So against harder matchups, the key is to not get invaded and put behind. After all, you are just a mage in the jungle. As mentioned earlier, Ekko wants to get to that power spike in the mid game as soon as he can, and champions that can punish and put him behind will stall that out. Try to ward your jungle entrances and play the opposite side of the map to the opposing jungler, and that will make it really difficult to shut you down. Now when you're ganking as Ekko, you ideally want to be looking to land your W. Champions that have crowd control in lanes are ideal to play with, as you can keep the enemy locked down and really secure that kill. So when it comes to your early game, you want to try and time your W around that teammate's crowd control, so let them go first and then line it up after that. It's really important as well that when you get to level 6 and you have your ultimate, you can look to dive opponents and ult away to prevent trading a kill, but you want to be using that and abusing it as much as possible. You also want to try and predict opponents' escape path with your Q for the slow, and definitely utilize the shield that your W gives you to prevent being burst in a counter gank. You are just a mage, you are very easy to burst out an early game. The main pathing for your early jungle clear is going to be red, Krugs, Raptors, blue, Gromp, and Scuttlecrab for level 4. You farm pretty fast, you can duel other junglers in good matchups, but you really want to try and secure that golden experience. For the reverse of that, you would go blue, Gromp, Wolves, Raptors, red, and then into Scuttlecrab. Now in teamfights, you want to look to dart through that front line and then eliminate the back line. Using your W, your ultimate, your Zhonya's effectively means you should be able to do that without dying, and that's the hard part. If you can flank or get behind the enemy lines though at the start of the fight, that will make your job a lot easier, so always pay attention to where the enemies have vision. Be aware as well of the main opposing team's cooldowns, press tab and work out what they might use to punish you, whether it's going to be hard crowd control or something to prevent you killing a target like a Lulu ultimate. If you know those things are on cooldown and they've already been used, you can guarantee that burst on a high value target. So finally, we have a couple of tips. Now, you can use your move speed cooldowns together to gain some serious distance to kill an enemy target. You have your E, your flash, and your Hextech Rocket Bell, plus your passive. If you're also waiting for your W to pop in a teamfight, you can use your ultimate or Zhonya's to buy yourself some time and let the sun go off even through that. So it's really important to keep that in mind. If you're planning to use your ultimate on enemies that are chasing you though, be sure to put a W down there first for maximum effectiveness. Actually as well, even your ultimate trail as you fly back will stun if it passes through that W field, so you don't have to end up in it to be able to use it. That's going to be all for our quick guide on Ekko. Good luck on the rifts.